What's up, dudes and dudettes of the year? And I'm Scyushi. Hi, how you doing? We got lots to talk about today. Today we've got a video that's going to be going over the event, but I also kind of forgot to make the July community letter video, so I'll be posting that today as well. Suffice to say, you guys are going to be living large as far as the Trove content on the channel is concerned. I do have a bunch of other videos that are planned that I hope you guys are interested in because it was a lot of work, but yeah, generally speaking, we've got the 10-year anniversary event for Trove. Could have fooled me. I've been playing this game over 10 years, so I don't know which anniversary they're referring to because the game has technically released like multiple times out of beta. It actually released out of beta on PC, then it ended up releasing out of beta on Steam, and then on Xbox and PlayStation and Switch, and it's a perpetual thing where the date of the actual game's release is very, very iffy. I mean, granted, you know, I played the game long when it was early access and stuff, so it kind of makes sense. But this year, come October, I'll have played this game for 11 years, so yeah. Anyway, we've got an event that's going on right now. We got lots of other things to talk about in regards to the event. There's a new store pack, which I will have a review on once it's back in the store. Basically, for those of you that don't know, there was a store pack that was added to the game, and the dragon that comes out of it accidentally gave the stats that a primordial, like Giga Chad crystal gem, you know, crystal egg dragon gives. And so it kind of glitched out, and a lot of people ended up getting 50k PR. While those people had 50k PR, they were actually able to pull mystic gear out of the gear crafter boxes. So shh, don't tell anyone. But in order to reach that, you had to have like maxed out mystic gear in the first place. So it's like, yeah. But anyways, it's just something that's coming. Lots of people are acting like 50k PR is a big deal, but the sigil for 50k PR has literally been in the game for years. It's just, you know, they future-proofed it. Anyways, that pack ended up getting patched, so the PR is no longer 50k, but the pack seems to have been removed from the store temporarily, I guess, while they resolve it. The other big thing that's going on with this event is the, where is it, in the new tab? Yeah, the pinatas. So the Yaba-Natas. I'll probably have some other videos deep diving into this, but basically these will end up, it's super lame. You guys remember, you know, I ended up making a video hyping up this update, and there was a mention of getting Yabaki, this Shadow Gondam mount that a lot of you probably don't even know exists. And basically they said there's going to be a bunch of giveaways on their socials, but you will be able to earn the mount in-game. You can't actually earn the mount in-game. See, the thing is, by doing the event, you're going to get some of these mounts for free, or you can spend money to buy them, and I'll tell you about the astronomical drop rates of these in a moment. But these will give you, for every Yaba-Nata that is thrown during the month of July, you'll be entered into a drawing to win Yabaki. That is lame as hell. I feel like I got clickbaited. Anyways, the other thing too is that these will end up dropping resources for Mystic Gear, which means nobody in their right mind should ever buy these except for end game players. And even then, somebody ended up testing, and based on their numbers, sorry, I don't remember who it was, so I can't shout them out. And obviously it's RNG, so it's all over the place. But keep in mind, with their numbers, it was going to cost 18 grand US, by the way, in order to end up getting like one class to fully maxed out Mystic Gear. So that's how bad these pinatas are. Don't buy them. You'll end up getting a bunch of them for free anyways throughout the event. In which case, I guess we should talk about that, shouldn't we? So the first part of the quest is to meet Patrolsley in the hub. So you talk to this idiot, and then there you go. It's already done. You'll end up getting a Sunfest sigil out of that. Then you have to meet House Panate, so that's going to be this guy right here. You'll end up talking with him, and then he will also give you a Sunfest sigil. Then you have to craft fireworks, which is at the crafting table right here. You craft 10 of them. He says, oh, cool, thanks, bro. Then you got to meet with House Carries, which is the next one over. Okay, cool, get another sigil. Then the next part is to collect Radiant Shards. So that will end up being either in the Skylands or just normal Radiant Ruins. I liked going here just because no normal dungeons can spawn here. You're basically looking for the Dark Hearts. So if you guys don't know what these are, because this is something from the Jurassic period of Trove that doesn't really have a purpose in the game anymore, this is a Dark Heart dungeon. Kind of wish we could see these in normal worlds. But yeah, anyway, you just activate it, shoot a bunch of these things. They end up giving you the radiant shards. You collect 70 of them. You get another sigil. Okay, cool. Then you gotta go and meet the next house, which is House Carries. Sorry, you don't go to the next house. You return to House Carries. Okay, whatever. Talk to the idiot. He gives you another sigil. Then we go and meet with Tysorian, which is gonna be this freak right here. Again, our sigil, and then the next part is to bake a Sunfest cake, which is going to be right here. Pretty cheap, all things considered, with all the various resources that it costs. Pretty good food item as well, gives you 450 light, 100% XP gain. So you guys might want to grab this if you're trying to level up your characters. And then the next part of the quest is to return to Patrolsley. So you go and talk to him, you get an our Sunfest sigil, and then you have to investigate Invading Shadows. Now, Invading Shadows are basically going to end up being an enemy that can randomly spawn from any dungeon, whether it's 1-star or whatever. The funny thing is that the quest doesn't really explain that, I don't think. So let me see if I can end up getting one of them to spawn for you guys right here really quick. Actually, you know what? I think I have footage of it, so I can just show you guys that. So once you end up fighting the invader, you get 7 sigils, and then get this, the next part of the quest is to return in a few days. So for those of you that don't know, this event is currently going to take part of entirely through July. And with it, there's going to be phases. So every week there's going to be a new phase of the quest, which is not only going to end up giving us more towards this quest, it's also going to unlock more items that we can end up crafting. There's a lot of secret items right now in the game, which I'll talk about in a moment. But yeah, generally speaking, you're already kind of done outside of having to do the incredibly convoluted dailies that are part of this event. Let me show you guys this because it's so freaking stupid. So when you end up going to any of these pinatas, this right here, this is the daily quest. Okay, so this one is Fireworks for Thalan, and this one gave me a heap of trouble. We basically end up going to the Geode Hub. It doesn't say any of this. Devs, please, if you're watching, fix the description, break lore, and just say, go to the Geode Hub, go to the top floor, and then go to the right. And it's this guy right here. The reason why it's so convoluted and stupid is nowhere in the entire game has it ever referred to this creature, this abomination, by name. The only people who know the name of this creature are the developers, because they can look at the code and see the tag that's associated with this abomination. That is the stupidest, dumbest quest design I have ever seen. And the funny thing is, it's inconsistent, because while that one doesn't really have a good description, some of these other ones are better, let's say. So next quest is Radiant Donations for House Carries. As far as I know, if you just grab this quest and then you just interact with him again, so long as you have the Radiant shards, it'll end up donating them. Okay, then you end up going to this guy, and then his quest is Cake for Rokatan. Who or what is a Rokatan? Okay, craft a cake, go over here. Thankfully, the quest says, go to the west. And then it's this dumb idiot right here. Now, the reason, as if this wasn't convoluted enough, what will actually happen when you actually want to obtain these quests? You craft this item, and then it goes in your inventory, and then you have to activate it and interact with it. Why? I will call stupid things stupid. I don't care how much I love this game. That is dumb. And that is all. So beyond that, what is the actual daily grind that you're going to do? Doing all of those will end up giving you those Yabaki pinatas. Okay, cool, you get them as a free player, awesome. Another way that you'll be able to obtain them is starting on the 3rd of July, everyone's going to end up having Twitch drops that'll give you a bunch of pinatas for 2 hours watch time. So on July 3rd, I'm gonna be doing a Twitch live stream. I mean, I'm gonna be streaming multi on Twitch and YouTube, but unfortunately there's no drops on YouTube. So anyways, let's get into what you're gonna be doing for the daily grind. So first of all, out of all the different biomes in the game, Forbidden Spires is pretty good, Geode Topside is pretty good, Sundered Uplands is a banger for this This is a cake dungeon. So what's going to actually happen here is you're going to end up finding these dungeons all over the place. And this is what you're searching for your dailies, because that was one of the shadow invaders right there. Because as you end up destroying these cake dungeons, you get a bunch of very specific resources for the event. There is also a chance of the invader spawning. And generally speaking, the Sundered biome is a lot more dense versus the other biomes in the game. And I think because it doesn't have many dungeons that can spawn, so usually a lot of them are going to end up being cakes. Also, another little side note is that there's actually a couple of these little things added to the game to spice up the world. They only just have a rejuvenation station and it's just a cute little build. Please, devs, more of this. I think that's awesome to flesh out all of the worlds and biomes and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, you're just gonna be doing cake dungeons, thousands and thousands of cake dungeons. And then there's a couple things that you can actually end up getting out of the cake dungeons. Most of all, you're going to end up getting the sigil, the resource, the event item, right? And the crazy thing is that this is actually time gated. So when you go to this crafting table, you can see these wings right here. This is going to end up costing Sunfest sigil, which, you know, we'll get for doing dailies and whatever else. And then the Sunfest spark is going to be the main resource that you'll end up getting from the cakes. I think you get this from cakes as well. I could be mistaken. You're going to need 3,600 Sunfest sparks in order to craft the wings for each of the 3 different houses. So 3,600 total, because you're gonna have to convert a bunch of them into these coins, and it's 25 a pop or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you can only craft this July 8th. So it's pretty easy to get the amount that you need. I hope that the devs don't add an extra 0, because I would always take something that's easy over tedious. And a lot of things in Trove are very tedious. This is going to end up being time gated though. So anyway, yeah, get that. Then you would end up crafting this. And I'm assuming throughout the weekly phases, more items are going to be added. So you want to keep grinding these up. Now, the other thing that's extra crazy is there's a bunch of hidden items that actually don't even show up in the collections tab. Interesting. There's a couple items that can drop out of the cake dungeons. Pardon me, this is gonna look really scuffed. This is going to end up being a spider mount you can get from the cake dungeons. Here's a centaur mount that actually has the old beta Trove head, and I actually saw this in game and it looks hilariously stupid. There's going to end up being this weird mount, which might actually be a Dread reskin, but I'm not exactly sure. This bad boy right here, which looks like it's going to end up being either a spinning top mount or maybe these spin around it. I'm not sure because I haven't seen it in game yet. We also got a couple costumes in game, and again, sorry this looks so scuffed. I think this is a Solarian costume based on the body. I'm not 100% sure. Then we got a knight costume and whatever class this is. Maybe that's Boomer. Suffice to say, not only are they in the game files, but some players actually have them. In fact, look at that. Okay, so maybe this is a bug. Maybe they're not supposed to be in the game, because look, there's the Dark Fae Fletcher. That's definitely a Solarian skin. That is the wrong image for it. So yeah, maybe they're just not supposed to be in yet. That's really interesting, because that's just the Easter event costume, or at the very least, maybe it doesn't have the right image for the market yet. I don't really know if I plan on buying any of them, because frankly speaking, they're gonna be extremely overpriced right now because nobody knows what they are or where they're from. But yeah, they're just from the cake dungeons. If I'm missing any of them by the end of the event at the end of the month, okay, sure, I'd buy them. At least I can end up doing a showcase for you guys at some point, but I'm not really in like a super rush to do it right now. I say that, but if I can find all of them on the market, I think we all know where my flux is gonna go. In any case, I still got a couple other videos to get ready for today. Thanks for watching. Smash like, sub for more, buy the merch you want, support the channel. Have yourselves a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, hi, Mark.